Imagine this. It's a quiet evening. The kind where the world slows down just enough for you to catch your breath. Maybe you're sitting in your favorite armchair, a warm mug of tea in your hands. Or perhaps you're tucked under a cozy blanket, the glow of a lamp casting soft shadows on the wall. There's something special about moments like these, isn't there? Moments when we can pause, reflect, and listen to a story that feels like it's speaking right to us. Welcome to the Health Revival, a place where we share stories, wisdom, and gentle reminders for those of us who've walked this earth for over 6 decades. This isn't just a channel, it's a fireside chat. A warm conversation with friends who understand the beauty and challenges of this season of life. Here, we talk about living well, loving deeply, and finding peace in our golden years. So, settle in, my friend, because tonight we're going to share a story about something close to the heart. The wisdom of knowing what to keep close and what to let go. Life, as you know, is like a river. It flows gently at times, rushes fiercely at others, but always carries us forward. By the time we reach our 60s, 70s, or beyond, we've seen that river twist and turn in ways we never expected. We've raised families, built homes, weathered storms, and collected memories that fill our hearts with both joy and a quiet ache. And if there's one thing I've learned from all those years, it's this: not every story needs to be told. Not every thought needs to be shared. There's a kind of strength, a kind of grace, in holding certain things close to your chest, especially when it comes to our children. They're our pride, our legacy, but sometimes, sharing too much can stir ripples that disturb the calm we've worked so hard to find. Tonight, I want to walk you through 4 things, 4 secrets, if you will, that we, as elders, should hold gently within ourselves. These aren't secrets born of shame or deceit, but of wisdom, of protecting our peace and the harmony of our families. They're about money, health, relationships, and the past, parts of life we've all wrestled with. As we go along, I'll share a story or two, maybe jog a memory of your own, and together we'll find that sweet spot where independence meets love, where silence becomes a gift to ourselves and those we cherish. Ready? Let's begin. You know, there's an old saying I heard growing up in my little hometown: money talks. But it doesn't always need to shout. Back then, it was just something my dad would mutter when he balanced the checkbook. But now, I see the truth in it, especially as we grow older. Money isn't just coins and bills, it's a kind of freedom. A safety net that lets us rest easy at night. And that's the first thing I want to talk about: your finances. Your savings, the quiet cushion you've built over the years. It's tempting, isn't it, to want to hand it all over to your children? To say, "Here, take it, I trust you," because you've spent a lifetime giving them everything. I get it, I've felt that tug myself. Let me tell you about my neighbor, Clara, a spry 72-year-old with a laugh that could light up a room. Clara raised 3 kids on her own after her husband passed, and she worked 2 jobs to make sure they never went without. When her eldest got married, she decided to gift him her savings, everything she'd tucked away for her retirement. She thought it would help him start a business, set him up for success. But life has a way of surprising us. The business struggled, the money vanished, and Clara found herself relying on her kids for every little thing: doctor's visits, groceries, even a new pair of shoes. She'd laugh it off when I saw her, but I could see the weight in her eyes. The way her smile didn't quite reach them anymore. She'd given away her voice, her independence, and it left her feeling smaller than she deserved. Now, I'm not saying your children aren't trustworthy or that they don't love you. Most of them do, with all their hearts. But love doesn't always mean understanding what you need. When you're in your 60s or beyond, having a little money set aside isn't about greed, it's about dignity. It's about knowing you can pay for your medicine if you're under the weather, or treat yourself to a slice of pie at the diner without asking anyone's permission. It's about keeping a piece of yourself that's yours alone, so you can stand tall, even when the world feels unsteady. So, here's my advice. From one friend to another, keep your finances close. Share what you need to, a plan for the future, maybe, or a will to make things clear, but don't feel pressured to lay every dollar bare. Let your children know you're taken care of, that you've got a plan, and leave it at that. That way, you're not just protecting your wallet, you're protecting your peace of mind. And that peace, my friend, flows right into the next part of our story, because what's more tied to peace than how we feel in our own bodies? As the years pile up, our bodies start telling stories of their own, don't they? A creaky knee here, a stiff back there, maybe a headache that lingers longer than it used to. It's part of the journey. And I'd bet you've got a tale or two about a time you pushed through the pain to keep going. But here's the second thing to hold close, your health. Or at least the small aches and pains that don't need a spotlight. I learned this one the hard way. And I suspect you might nod along when you hear it. I think of my Uncle Ray, who lived out in Montana with a view of the mountains that could steal your breath. Ray was the kind of man who'd call you up to share a fishing story or a recipe for cornbread. But as he got older, those calls started to change. Every conversation turned into a list of ailments, his arthritis acting up. A cough that wouldn't quit. The way his hip ached when it rained. At first, my cousins rallied around him, checking in, bringing soup. But over time, I noticed they called less. Not because they didn't care, but because it was heavy. You know, they had kids, jobs, lives pulling them in every direction. And hearing about every twinge felt like a weight they couldn't carry. It hit me then, sharing every detail of our health can sometimes push away the very people we want close. Our children love us, but they're not doctors, and they're not always equipped to handle a constant stream of complaints. Now, don't get me wrong, if something serious comes up, like a diagnosis that needs attention, you should absolutely let them know. They'll want to be there, to hold your hand through it. But those everyday aches, the little things that come and go, those are better kept between you and your morning coffee. Instead of dwelling on what hurts, I've found it helps to focus on what keeps you strong. Maybe it's a walk around the block, feeling the breeze on your face, or joining a local group for yoga or tai chi, gentle moves that make your body hum. I started gardening a few years back, and let me tell you, there's nothing like digging in the dirt to make you feel alive. Eat a little better, drink your water, maybe keep a journal to track how you're feeling. And when you talk to your kids, share the good stuff, the way you laughed at a silly TV show or tried a new recipe. That's what pulls them closer. What makes them smile when they think of you? By keeping the small stuff to yourself, you're not hiding, you're choosing to shine a light on what's good. And that choice, that quiet strength, carries us right into another part of life where silence can be golden. How we talk about the people our children love. Families are like quilts, aren't they? Patchworked together with love, but sometimes the stitches don't quite line up. When our kids get married, they bring new people into the fold, sons-in-law, daughters-in-law, who become part of our story. And that's where our third secret comes in. The things that bother you about your child's spouse are often best left unsaid. Oh, I know it's not always easy. I've bitten my tongue more times than I can count. And I'm sure you have too. I remember my friend Margaret, who lived down the street from me years ago. She was a sweetheart, always baking cookies for the neighborhood kids. But she had a bone to pick with her son's wife, Lisa. Lisa was a city girl, fast-talking and career-driven. And Margaret couldn't understand why she didn't spend more time cooking or visiting. Every time I saw Margaret, she'd vent about it, how Lisa ordered takeout too often, how she didn't iron her son's shirts. She'd tell her son, too, hoping he'd fix things. But instead of bringing them closer, it built a wall. Her son started visiting less. And when he did, the air felt tense, like everyone was walking on eggshells. Margaret didn't mean to stir trouble. She just wanted the best for her boy. But what she didn't see at first was that her son chose Lisa for a reason. They were building a life together, different from the one Margaret knew, but theirs all the same. When she finally stopped commenting and started asking Lisa about her work, her hobbies, things shifted. They weren't best friends overnight, but the visits got warmer. The laughter came easier. Here's what I've come to believe: our children's partners aren't perfect. But neither were we when we were young and figuring it out. If something's really wrong, say, there's hurt or neglect, then yes, speak up with kindness. But those little annoyances, the way she burns the toast or he forgets anniversaries, let them be. Try seeing them through your child's eyes. Ask about their day, share a story, maybe offer a compliment when they least expect it. Small gestures like that weave a stronger quilt. one where everyone feels included. Keeping quiet about those frustrations doesn't mean ignoring them, it means choosing peace over conflict. And that choice leads us to the last secret. One that's maybe the hardest of all, the shadows of our past. We all carry memories, don't we? Some sparkle like sunlight on water. Others sit heavy, like stones in a pocket. As we get older, it's natural to look back, to sift through the years and make sense of them. But the fourth thing to keep close is the pain of your past, the hurts. The losses, the moments you'd rather not relive. Not because they don't matter, but because revisiting them too often can dim the light you bring to today. I think of my old friend Henry, who used to sit on his porch every evening, a glass of iced tea in hand, watching the world go by. Henry had a life full of color, 2 kids, a career as a teacher, a knack for playing the harmonica that made everyone smile. But he also carried a wound from years ago, when his first marriage fell apart. It was a messy time, full of blame and regret. And even decades later, he'd bring it up with his kids. He'd talk about the arguments, the betrayal, hoping maybe they'd understand him better. But instead, it left them uneasy. They didn't know that version of their dad. And hearing it made them feel like they had to fix something that wasn't theirs to mend. Henry didn't see it at first, but those stories were chaining him to a time he'd long outgrown. When he started focusing on the present, teaching his grandkids to fish, sharing old jokes instead of old sorrows, something shifted. His kids noticed it too. They'd linger longer at the house, their hugs a little tighter. Henry told me once, "I realized they didn't need my pain. They needed my smile. That's what I want for you, too. Your past shaped you, no question, but it doesn't define you now. If there's a memory that stings, write it down, talk it over with a friend. Maybe even pray on it if that's your way. But when you're with your children, let the good stories shine. Tell them about the time you danced all night at a wedding. Or the summer you learned to bake bread. Those are the threads that tie you together, that make them proud to call you mom or dad." By keeping the painful past to yourself, you're not burying it, you're setting it free. You're giving yourself permission to live in the moment, to find joy in the simple things, a grandchild's giggle, a sunset that takes your breath away. And that, my friend, is where true peace lies. So here we are, at the end of our story for tonight. But really, it's just the beginning. We've talked about 4 things to hold close: your money, your small aches and pains, your thoughts about your child's spouse, and the sorrows of your past. Each one is a choice to protect your heart, to keep your family strong, to live with a lightness that age only deepens. It's not about building walls or hiding who you are. It's about standing tall in your own story, knowing you've earned the right to decide what to share and what to keep sacred. Life in our 60s, 70s, and beyond is like a new chapter, one where the pages turn a little slower, but the words mean so much more. At the Health Revival, we're here to help you write that chapter with grace, with courage, with a smile that says, "I've got this." We'll share more stories, more wisdom, maybe even a few laughs along the way, all to help you live your healthiest, happiest years yet. Because health isn't just about your body, it's about your heart, your spirit, and the love you give to yourself and those around you. Before I say goodnight, I want to ask you a favor. If this story resonated with you, if it sparked a memory or a thought you'd like to carry forward, please hit that like button and subscribe to the Health Revival. It's a small thing, but it means the world to us. It keeps this fireside glowing, ready for you whenever you need it. And if you're feeling generous, share this with a friend who might need a little warmth tonight. We're building a community here, one story at a time, and we'd love for you to be part of it. Until next time, my friend, take care of yourself. Keep your secrets wise, your heart open, and your tea warm. Good night, and I'll see you soon.